Okay, guys. Hey, welcome back to the Right Brain Podcast. We have my amazing friend Emma Zinck here today. I've been wanting to get her on here for a while, but she's just so elusive. But no, Emma, in my opinion, and I think everyone should agree with me, she is the world's best female guitarist in the entire world, actually. That is what I deeply believe, that you could see her on stage with people like Lainey Wilson, but then she also puts on her own shows, and her newest single, Country Enough, just came out. And if you were wondering if she's country enough, she is.
Hell yeah, bro.
So,
Answers that question.
Yeah, she answers that question. And yeah, so she's performing all the time, so you can catch those shows. And one more thing, she can do a New Jersey accent.
What's it, Kim? What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
You want a bagel with a shmee and a cup of coffee regular?
Like, what can't she do?
The cup of coffee regular kills me. That is great.
It's actually pretty accurate too. Very accurate.
Yeah.
Ellis can do a pretty darn good Long Island accent.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had to play like a girl from Staten Island in my acting school, and I got like a standing ovation. They were like, "You should have an Oscar." And I was like, "No, this is this is my actual accent. I've just been hiding it from you guys this entire time."
Just brought it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so normally we start off by like asking you what you were like as a kid, what you were like in school, you know.
Yeah.
Like origin stories, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
And, you know, when you first kind of came into your talent,
Yeah.
and if there were also any struggles that you had.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess I'll just go right from the
Get in
beginning.
there, Emma.
Yeah. I was born in Virginia, from a town called Stafford. Technically, I say Fredericksburg just because more people know it. And my parents live in Fredericksburg now. But yeah, I grew up with a great family, mom and dad. And my dad was in the Marine Corps. I also lived with my mom's parents, so my grandparents. And they lived like in an in-law suite in the basement. So they were like a second pair of parents, basically. I have a little brother. He's 3 years younger than me. And we had a great upbringing. Like, we went to like a private Christian school. And then I kind of got into music around, I guess it was like 11. My dad, he was taking guitar lessons at the time. And I was just super intrigued. He'd come back and be like, "Yeah, I just got back from my lesson." I was like, "That's cool. Like, what'd you learn?" And I would just like ask him questions. And I've always looked up to him. He was, like I said, he was in the Marine Corps. He did a couple of tours in Iraq and that kind of thing. So I just wanted to kind of do whatever he was doing. And then he started teaching me a couple chords, and I like just loved it, and you know, kind of picked it up for myself. And then I started playing in the worship band at my school in like middle school. And I was just like playing guitar, and then I was like, I wonder if I could sing. So I started singing like, I don't know, Katy Perry and like Hot Then You're Cold. Like G, A minor, C was like the first like pop song I learned. And then I like wrote my first song when I was like 13. And I remember my parents were super encouraging. They would like bring me down in the living room and set up like a karaoke mic and this like little amp and be like, learn this song, like learn Simple Man by Leonard Skinner, and like all these like classics. And then anything from like Led Zeppelin to like Merle Haggard, that kind of thing. Like, my dad was super into like the old country, and so I kind of originally loved like rock and roll, and I was like obsessed with like Avril Lavigne.
Oh yeah, I was obsessed with that.
Yeah. I also played piano too. I completely forgot about that. I started playing piano when I was 6, and then I went through a big Sarah Bareilles phase, and like
you're speaking our language.
Yeah, I love her so much.
I stalked her into a bathroom once. I'm not proud of it.
Oh my god,
she was a little freaked out.
Wait, where?
I was bartending, and she was like, I bartended at this place. I was like 21, and she was like sitting in the bar in New York, and I like timed out when I thought she'd be like done peeing and washing her hands, and then I like walked into the bathroom when she was washing her hands, so I did that correctly.
Yeah,
but I was like and I started like hysterically crying, and it was like a very dark bathroom. She was like, "Oh my god." But she gave me a hug. Anyway, sorry, Sarah.
That's sweet.
My bad.
That's really sweet. Yeah, so like so many music influences and
So were your parents like? Did they play music? Obviously, your dad was taking guitar lessons. Did he just like music? Was your mom like that too? I mean, if you started
Yeah,
playing
they're-
piano at 6, was it just something they exposed to, or you had a piano in your home? Did somebody play it?
Yeah, so we had a piano in the house. My mom played piano like all her life too, so she was
Wow.
actually a really good piano player, and she threw me in lessons when I was 6. And they're just like big music people. Like they'd be in the living room on Friday, Saturday nights, like playing CDs and drinking beer and having a good time. And
Cool.
then my grandparents would come up and we just all like hang out, and they got like a karaoke machine, and then my grandmother would like sing, and it was just always surrounded by like music. Or they'd have parties, people would come over, and they would just expose me to all different types of music. And then my dad played, he sang a little bit, but they never did anything like super serious with it.
Right.
And then when I started getting into it, they're like, "Oh my God, like you're actually really good. Like, we want to
They're
encourage
really
you, like
encouraging. That's awesome.
do this." Yeah.
What were you like in school academically? How did you do in school? Were you good? Did you have any issues with that at all?
Yeah, I feel like I was pretty good in school up until like middle school, high school. I started like, I guess not caring is the way to
Yeah.
put it. Like, I just always kind of beat to my own drum, I guess. And I started noticing I did have like just troubles with like attention stuff and like paying attention to certain things that I wasn't interested in, or like doing homework always felt pointless.
Yeah.
Like I was never like following the pact, I guess. I kind of started like thinking for myself in a way that may have been good and may have not been good. Like in a way, I feel like I kind of like was my own like free thinker, and I was like, you know, what's the point of algebra? I'm never going to use this.
Yeah. So
Like, I
was
kind
that
of-
more like a thing for yourself individually, or did you feel like you had a pretty, like more of a bigger sense of things? You know what I mean? Like from a standpoint of the context of the world and the meaning in the world, what is algebra? Or was it just for you, or did you already have kind of a bigger sense like that?
I feel like I did kind of have a bigger sense of something. Like I knew I wanted to do something different. I didn't know if I knew what that was yet. When I was like 13, 14, I was like, you know, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like,
For real
and then
though.
high school, like I was just kind of like, I just always beat to my own drum. Like I wasn't popular. I wasn't not popular. Like I didn't really, the only thing I cared about at that point was just like playing music. And I had friends, obviously. I mean, not obviously, but I had friends, but I was never like concerned with like the social status or like trying to play sports. Just, I remember I tried out for a sport and I was like, this is like too serious. Like, why is everybody taking this so serious? Like, it's high school.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I kind of felt like, you know, am I being like an asshole? Or am I just not interested? And I kind of felt like I was weird in a way,
And
but also was like cared about how I looked, how I dressed. Like I cared about that stuff, but I didn't have the same like interest in like being socially accepted, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And it sounds like you were okay with that, or is that something that, looking back now, you were okay with it? Were you okay with it at that time too, or did you feel any sort of, you know, fear of judgment or, you know, any of that stuff? And it sounded like you had a pretty good home life, so that sounded like that was good. So how were you emotionally, would you say, most of your life as a kid?
I think so my home life was great. I mean, I love my parents. I think I always just had a sense of like, I would get overwhelmed. I still get like really overwhelmed a lot. And like I would like watch home videos as a kid where I would just like be in a social setting or something where I would just like completely like freak out and like almost have a temper tantrum. I still kind of do that
More like
now,
social anxiety.
it's not necessarily that. It's just like a feeling of like, I can't handle, there's so many like tabs open. I can't figure out how to organize things. So I would just like freak out or get overwhelmed.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
But-
I feel like as a kid, I've always had that kind of thing in me of kind of getting overwhelmed. And I've always kind of struggled with anxiety. Like I've hated sleepovers. I didn't like not sleeping in my own bed. I would get like separation anxiety from like my family.
Yeah.
And then come my, I guess 8th grade, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So that was kind of like a big turn on the family. And she ended up being fine. She's cancer free. But she developed like fibromyalgia and has kind of never been the same since she got breast cancer and stuff. So that's kind of been a hard thing for all of us as a family to deal with. And I think it kind of made me like realize like more of like what's important in life. Maybe that's the reason I was a little disconnected in high school, or
Yeah. Yeah, you had
know,
to
I
grow up
was-
quicker.
like concerned about my family maybe, or that was affecting me at the time. And
What about even your dad? Was he in Iraq when you were actually a kid?
yeah, I was like 6.
So did you
I
have
think
any
for his first tour,
fears
and then
over
7.
that? Like, because I know she used to say that she would stay up at night afraid that I was going to die, and I'm not going to Iraq for war, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
did you have that anxiety, that kind of sense of fear or danger that something bad would happen to your dad?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That
I
must have been-
remember like vividly, I remember when he like left for the first time, and I was like devastated.
How old were you?
I think I was 7, his first tour, and then I was 8, his second tour. And like always been like a daddy's girl. And I think I remember he was leaving. There was like this whole his whole squadron or whatever. We were at this hangar in like Norfolk, Virginia, and they all get on these buses, and then it's like, you know, they're gone.
Oh my
And
God.
like I remember being like the only kid that I feel like understood what was going on. Like I remember like looking around at all the other kids, and they weren't like crying or upset, and I'm like remember thinking like, how are you guys like not freaking out? Like your dad is like going to war.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like I like understood conceptually like what it meant at the time.
Shall we say the right brain is really, that big understanding, like wisdom, and especially from an emotional standpoint, and being able to put things in the context of the big picture.
Right.
Like the left brain gets stuck with the details, but the right brain always like, well, what does this actually mean? And it sounds like you were questioning that from a very, very young age, and also could tap into that.
For sure.
So when you started songwriting, I know with Ellis, a lot of it was her own self-care, as well as her ability and her talent. So what was your first song about? And did any of that, like, were you doing it just because you like music, or do you feel like it was an expression to help, heal yourself a bit or help calm yourself?
Yeah, that's a really great question. The first song I ever wrote was called Car Ride. And it was like, all life is a car ride. Like, you never know which way you're going to turn or what the road's going to look like. And I guess that was kind of a conceptual thing of like, well, this is what it is, and you just got to ride the ride.
Yeah.
Which I guess I
And
was
you
13.
said you were 13. That's pretty impressive for a 13-year-old. But it also speaks about, uncertainty.
For sure.
And but it sounded like you kind of had a positive message from it.
Yeah. I think it was kind of like, well, I guess this is what it is, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
It's like your first song was what, about middle school girls bullying you?
Oh, my unibrow. But I didn't mention it in the thing. It was just like, do you ever feel alone? Do you ever feel like you're on your own? Do you ever feel like you're rejected? Do you ever feel unprotected? Is this feeling all new? Does it hurt to say it's true? And if you're falling without an end, I want you to know I understand.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, I was really tall.
It was
So,
an amazing song, actually.
people didn't like me.
But
But
now I'm sure they're like, dang,
Yeah.
she's stunning and
I was going to say some names. I'm not
kicking
gonna say.
ass.
But yeah, I started writing, I guess, because there was just like, I don't know. Yeah, when you start to feel those things at an early age that you're like, I guess other people aren't feeling. I also was like writing about like my brother's relationship because he was like older and like I had never been in a relationship, but I was like kind of putting myself in like their shoes because I didn't have anything to write about, but I was like taking from that. I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's
yeah,
cool.
it's kind of like when we heard the song, my wife and I, we were like, first of all, it was really good. We didn't expect it to be as good as it was. But secondly, we were
That's
like,
my dad.
how is she writing about such deep emotions at like 10? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Just
where
went through
is
a
that
divorce.
coming from? Like what relationship have you had yet that we don't know about? You know, it's like, wait a second. You know, you're talking about some pretty deep stuff, which was a window into what was thinking. And she was very good at kind of not showing that. Do you feel like you were like that too? Were you an open book, or were you more of like a guarded to other people, didn't want them to see, you know, what you were feeling?
Yeah, I feel like growing up, I was really reserved. I've always been very emotional, always had big emotions, but also didn't want attention at the same time.
I feel like you're really good at hiding them. Like you're a
Yeah.
very like
I'm
calm
very
person.
like chill
Yeah.
on the surface because I feel like I want to be like I am, but when it comes to like when I'm close to people, there's a lot of emotions that go into what I'm going through every day, and I try my best not to put them on people I'm around, but I do definitely put them on like the people closest to me.
And
Yeah,
are you
for
able
sure.
to put them into your songs? Or I know that we've had other people talk about how difficult that can be and how that painful that can be when you're, you know, writing about things that are, you know, tearing your own heart out and then putting that on stage for people.
Yeah, I think it's almost like and tell me if you feel the same way, like healing almost,
Yeah.
to be able to. I feel like songwriting is just a way of expressing, like getting that out. Like I'm such a verbal processor too. Like if I'm feeling something, like I'll call up one of my friends and be like, I just need to like talk this out.
Yeah.
And I feel like songwriting is kind of the same thing where it's like, what's that saying? Like when you release it, you're free of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what exactly the saying is, but it's like I feel like it's better to talk about it than to not talk about it.
Yeah.
Like so many people hide things, and I feel like it can manifest in other ways, and I've gotten to a point in my life to be like, I'm just gonna say it, whatever it is. If it's somebody I'm close to, someone I'm working with, obviously sometimes I'm not gonna say certain things if it's not like worth it, but if it's like it's on me to like be honest, and if I'm gonna lay my head down at night, I'm just gonna like say what it is that I'm feeling at the time, because I feel like if you say something, it's more likely to get resolved than if you like harbor something and
Yeah.
don't. And I think the same thing with songwriting. It's like if I write about it, it's like, okay, it's out there, like it's not on me anymore.
And that means also performing it too, or just writing about it, meaning that you're okay going on stage and you don't have any, like, you know, anxiety over being judged over it because you're revealing some of your vulnerabilities or anything.
Oh yeah. Do you have stage fright?
Sometimes, yeah. When it comes to like a bigger show or like a band show, and like we played the basement last 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago? Yeah. And that was my first time playing that venue, and we had some new like band members. So yeah, I was for sure.
When you were
nervous for
younger,
that.
were you more so like that, or?
Yeah, I used to, when I was younger, like when I first started singing, I was like a little terrified. But I was like, I loved it so much. I'm like, well, this is what I want to do. And it's more so from like a personal expression aspect than like wanting the attention from it. Like I understand like that's kind of what comes with it, but for me it's more like a healing experience for myself, and hopefully a healing experience for whoever listens. or somebody can relate to it.
Yeah.
Do you think doing the karaoke sessions in your own house with your family helped allay some of that? Like, we always talk about, again, raising a creative child. Like, how can you create the best environment?
Mm-hmm.
And like, it sounds like your parents did that, whether they did it intentionally or not. But that, you know, all those little rehearsals in front of your family and things like that, that helps.
It did. Yeah, I totally did. They were like really encouraging. And I remember when I sang that car ride song, my dad was like crying.
Oh.
And he's like, this is so good. Like, I can't believe my daughter's like writing a song like this or whatever. And I'm
so
like
cute.
rolling my eyes, like, you know, but they were super encouraging and helped like shape my music taste. And they would bring me to my gigs. And my dad was always like he would set up my little sound system I had when I was like 16. And yeah, they were super encouraging for sure.
Yeah. He would force me to go to these like open mics.
I didn't force you to do anything.
And like every time I would sing, they'd put the blender on. I was like, what the hell is this? But it did help me get past my stage fright.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, me and Emma almost wrote a song together once, but all we did was giggle instead.
We wrote like half a
we
song.
giggle and did like TikTok dances instead for like 7 hours. So there was that. But
it was so like cringy on purpose.
it was on
That was
cringy on
like our
purpose.
first like time like really me getting to know you, and I was like, why are you like my inner thoughts just out loud?
Yeah, I believe that is what you
Like
said.
no filter.
We understood each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I love your songwriting so much. And
Thanks, I feel the same about yours.
thanks, Emma.
Yeah.
But so your anxiety that you're talking about, like, is that, so you had that when you were a kid? Were you able to really like understand that you were feeling that way? Or is that something like as you got older, you struggled with more?
I feel like it came in waves. I still feel like I've generalized anxiety sometimes. But it was like when I was like 6, I was having panic attacks.
Really?
Yeah.
Even that young?
Mm-hmm. Like I would just like freak out.
And that kind of had to do with also like the social anxiety part of it?
Maybe. It was more so just like a feeling I had in myself of like, I guess it was like nervous system dysregulation. Like the more I've researched stuff, I guess that's what it was. I don't know if it was caused by, I don't know what the cause of it was. You know, I wouldn't say I have any like severe trauma or
anxiety attack, if you can remember it.
Yeah.
You know, there's different kinds of anxiety. So we say anxiety, a lot of people just kind of lump any sort of negative thinking to that. But you know, one type is where there's this fear of danger, like, you know, just something bad is going to happen.
That's, I think, what it...
Like this foreboding feeling that something bad, and I don't know why, I don't know where. Others, it's more a social anxiety, you know, like these kids are going to make fun of me, or, you know, and others, it might be anxiety about doing things that they like, going to school and doing homework and fearing that you're going to fail and let people down.
Right. I think it was more of a fear of myself, if that makes sense. Like, why do I feel like I'm in like complete danger right now? Like my alarm system would just go off and I'd be like, something's wrong, but I couldn't communicate what it was. I remember my parents like took me to the doctor and got like my heart checked out, and I was like, I had like premature heartbeats or something like that, where it was like I would get heart palpitations, and then that would freak me out. And the doctor said like, oh, it's nothing to worry about, it's just like kind of a normal thing. And then they went away.
Yeah,
and then they kind of came back in high school, kind of thing. I remember when I was like 15, I had like a heart monitor, but I would be in. So
you had like little kind of arrhythmia type things, or like. So I'll explain that from a neurological perspective, because people don't think about that. It's really. So we always talk about, you know, and I want to talk about, because I know that your guitar talent is amazing.
Well, thank you.
And incredible. So I want to talk about that. But when you're born with such level of talent, that's there, right? And it's there. You don't know it's there. It's there. There's an area of your brain that's stronger. than most people that you get as a trait from your family. Somewhere in your family there was, sounds like there was a musical trait there somewhere, and maybe a writing trait or, something. And that area, also around that area, is also certain emotions like fear or a sense of danger. I mean, we all need a sense of danger, and the right brain in particular, because it develops first. And the first thing when we go into any situation is there danger, right? So the first thing we need to do is survive. So the first thing we need to do is say, okay, is it safe or is it not safe? And if it's not safe, we get this feeling of anxiety subconsciously. It's almost, we don't intuitively, we don't sit there and go, oh, why is this not safe? We're just like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I got to, go. And that's kind of what a panic attack is, right? It's kind of this feeling. And it could be triggered by actual real thing, or it could be triggered by your own brain, because this creative area of your brain is also being used at that time. And so on the left brain, the right and left brain also regulate your heart and your blood pressure and what we call the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And when specifically from the left side, it affects you have two different pacemakers in your own heart. One is about the rhythm and the other is the speed. And so the one on the left is more about the rhythm. And if you if the left brain is deficient, it increases your sympathetic nervous system and it makes your heartbeat trigger too fast and it throws the rhythm off.
Interesting.
And so it can lead to an arrhythmia. And that may have been what you were experiencing, which, people think, well, it's got to be a cardiovascular issue. Just like panic attacks often have a lot to do with breathing. Right. So, that may be, what you were experiencing at that point.
So your talent made your heart act up.
Yeah.
And that's what you get for being so talented.
Guess so. I'm gonna go into a sheer panic attack. Heart palpitations. No, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
To hear about. I feel like I've always felt like there's not something wrong with me, but something weird with me, for sure.
Yeah.
I was going to therapy recently, and she asked me, she's like, have you ever been diagnosed for ADHD? And I was like, no, but I definitely feel like I have some symptoms, and I kind of have never liked to I don't know, categorize myself or be like, well, I have ADHD, so that's why I'm dumb. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I can't do X, Y, Z because I have ADHD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was really eye-opening to hear kind of what she had to say. Because I think a lot of it's like executive functioning stuff, like how you were talking about the left brain maybe not being so, like when it comes to details and stuff,
details, organizing, keeping things logical, following step by step.
Yeah, but I also have this like sixth sense, and I feel like you have the same thing where it's like you have this like talent, like for you, like I'll speak for you, like when you walk into a room, it's like, oh my God, she's stunning. You have this aura about you. That's where it's nice. Like, I want to be her best friend. I don't know what it is. Like you just have this like star quality, creative sixth sense thing.
Well, that's what you have, so but we already know that.
That's why you get along with each other.
Yeah, maybe because we
get along.
We're just stars.
You're both weird.
We're just stars. Sorry, with the sixth sense.
But you'll just like say things where I'm just like, to the normal person would not make any sense. And I'm like, yeah, I totally.
Well, when I did my Bashar impression. Yes. Oh my God. Okay, we won't get into that.
Yeah.
But no, I agree, and he talks about that too, where it's like even though like normal learning, they make you like go through all the details of things, and you're like, I don't really want to go through all the details of things, but I kind of have this overall knowing of what it is anyway.
Yes.
And so that's what he's saying is the right brain, like you see the big picture, but you kind of can like already fill in the blanks of things too. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So the right brain sees things it takes in multiple, streams of information all at the same time, and subconsciously, instantly kind of comes to a conclusion or knows it intuitively.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't talk to ourselves. So it's like that's kind of also what you were describing. Like, what's the point of this? I already know where this is going. I already know the answer. I already know that this really isn't going to be important. Or so it's kind of like going through the details is this painful, slow, and in many cases unnecessary process in the big picture of things.
For sure.
And it's really hard to get yourself to do that and motivate yourself to do that.
And I feel like I've dealt with a lot of self-shaming.
Oh yeah.
For that, like, be like, why can't you just, time things out? Why can't you just remember where your freaking wallet is? Why can't you, say you're gonna be here at a certain time and get out the door? Like, sometimes just getting out the door is so hard. And it's like, but then I'm like, I know I'm not dumb. Like, I feel like I'm super emotionally aware. Like, I feel like my intuition's really strong. I'm able to connect with people in a way that I feel like is like something that's really special to me through music and stuff. And that's why I feel like I do it. But then when it comes to like, it mostly comes with frustration in myself and my daily life of like, why can't I just do the normal things that other people seem to find so effortlessly? Yeah. And that's where I really struggle with, like, I'll go into like self-loathing, or I'll like feel super overwhelmed, where I go into like where I feel like I was a kid, where I'd just be like, I don't know what to do. And then I just freeze and then I burn out. Like, I completely, because I'm always like running, trying to figure out how to do these little things and also conceptualize my career and everything going on and trying to be a good person. And then it's like, figure your shit out.
You're literally saying all of my insecurities out loud right now.
So hard.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, I'm trying so hard.
Well, the thing I think, with all of you guys, what you need to think about is, we live in this left brain society more and more and more. School is all left brain. Kids that are left brain talented are rewarded and told they're gifted, where kids that are right brain talented aren't really, because it's not, those gifts in that context, isn't as obvious. But if you looked at it like, your guitar playing, my understanding is genius level, like literally genius level.
Chef's kiss.
No, but you see, that's the thing. You don't think of yourself that way. As a kid who, let's say, could memorize, times tables, or is incredible as a math, we think of a genius. You're a genius with the guitar and with music. But nobody tells you that. I mean, they do when you get to a certain point now where, maybe you're rewarded, and obviously, people are celebrities in the music industry and people talk about you're a musical genius. But growing up, you don't get that type of feedback and support like someone might school, in academics.
For sure.
Yeah. Like maybe as an athlete, you look at someone like Michael Jordan, he's a genius, obviously on the basketball court. And that's a genius level skill as well. But with that is going to come some vulnerability, meaning with that superpower comes kryptonite somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
But you don't have to live with that all the time.
Right.
You could actually change that if anybody knew how to help you do that.
For sure.
It is a choice that you could make without losing that gift.
Yeah.
But, you need to first celebrate that when you can't do this and you start beating yourself up and you're saying, why can't I do this? If you could actually say to yourself, well, because I'm a musical genius, that's part of it, right? And that's okay. So would you give that up? Like, would you give up that superpower so that you could be more organized?
So you could write in a little planner in your calendar every day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me wants to say, like, maybe just a little bit of it. Like,
you can only have
a
one.
More
you can have a one
I
way.
could just not go like this every single day. That makes six.
More balance is the goal, right?
Yeah,
but again, if you had to think about it, would you give up your talent for the ability to be more normal like that?
No, I don't think so.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
Better say
so
no.
when you're beating yourself up or anything,
choose like one extreme or the other.
Right. So you wouldn't change it even if you could, really.
But you can.
But you can make it more balanced.
Yeah.
Without losing that gift.
Yeah, and I guess that's like my question is, I've always been apprehensive to like medication I would love to figure out like ways to just figure out that kind of stuff on my own. And I feel like I've been working really hard on that. Like I got sober last year. I've been sober now for almost a year and a half.
It's amazing.
And thanks, but it's been like the hardest thing I've ever done because I definitely realized that I was using alcohol to kind of
Calm the anxiety.
yeah, and kind of just like I remember when I would have like 2 or 3 beers, I would be like, oh, I feel like normal.
Yeah.
Like I feel like not all
I feel that way.
everything's like firing at all cylinders all the time, and I can finally just like feel like yeah, everything's good. Like I can do this, and I can like comprehend everything and not feel this like general sense of overwhelm.
Yep.
That seems to always end up creeping up
Yeah.
on me.
Right.
And then I started using it kind of in an unhealthy way, and it would just, you know, ripple effect, cause more anxiety the next day, and then I'd have to drink to come back to baseline. And I realized I was using it, it's like kind of to regulate my nervous system. It wasn't like a,
Right.
oh, I'm having a good time, let's have a drink. It was like, no, I need this to like feel like I can come back down to baseline again.
Yeah.
So cutting that out has helped and has not helped.
Well, because
in a
yeah,
way.
now you're just dealing with that
All the
constant
time.
overwhelm without anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just generally depressing your nervous system. You know what I mean? So you bring everything down a notch, which means that your brain is always operating at a super, super high, fast level. And that's good and bad, right? The good things and the bad things are coming together. And so you need to slow it down. But what you're doing is you're slowing down both sides.
For sure.
And so that can make you feel calmer, but also could lead to depression because that's when you lower that left side even more, that's what depression is.
For sure. I think that's kind of what was happening, and I got to a point where it was like the pain of using this substance is greater than the pain of what it could be to like try and deal with without it. And in ways it's been great. Like I definitely feel better. I feel like I look better in general. Like I've lost
you
weight.
look great.
Thanks.
You're gorgeous, so.
Thanks, I appreciate it. You're gorgeous too. Okay, who cares? Yeah, and there's been some benefits to it, but there also is where I do get to that feeling of overwhelm. I don't have that thing to turn to anymore. I mean, amidst exercise, I've been doing like breathing and yoga and stuff. I pray too. I believe in God, so it's just like trying to figure out ways to deal with like it feels more like an emotional thing where it's like this like roller coaster, and being able to be like, all right, we need to do X, Y, and Z, and it not feel like this like huge task.
I
Like,
I relate to everything you're saying.
Like, what are the things? I guess what would you recommend? Is my question.
Well, I mean, again, based on what we're talking about, of course, you should really get a proper, evaluation. But assuming, let's say that almost everything you're talking about sounds like your right brain is so strong and the left brain is relatively weaker, and that's you're in balance. And what you do for a living is very right brain. So you're doing that all the time.
Yeah.
And you're kind of driving this down. And we talk about, that right brain is things like, sense of danger, shame, guilt,
Anxiety, depression.
sadness, and the left brain is joy and pride. And so you're kind of driving that down as you're doing it.
Yeah.
And so the idea is to drive it up, is to do things. It's like, if you're a tennis player and you're right-handed, but in doing that, you're creating this imbalance in your body, which may lead to back pain. And the answer would be you have to play with the other hand sometimes, or you have to train the other side. You have to build the other side up to compensate for that overactivation so that you can create balance. Because if you don't, this side is so strong that it's going to create this weakness in the other side, and that weakness is going to eventually produce pain or produce an issue. So it's like that. Your brain is kind of like exercising. You can do things with light and sound and music and smells and different physical activities and different things to activate your inner ear. And there's different, electrical devices that you can use to be able to balance your brain. And
yeah, we're starting to make right brain boxes for people. So we'll get you one, but we're going to put in because obviously I would be shockingly even 10 times crazier than I am if he wasn't my dad, because you can imagine how much he's already worked on me and I'm still a crazy person. But I have like those red light glasses that I wear, and we have like brain drivers, which you can just come over and we can have like a little brain driver night where it's like these.
Yeah, wine and brain driver.
No idea.
Well, I'll drink wine.
I have no idea. Like, what is that?
It's like an electrical current type.
Yeah. So again, literally, when we
Type
say
vibe.
we're trying to change the balance of the brain, we're trying to change brainwave frequencies. So in brain cells and networks of brain cells, they communicate through certain frequency waves. And, you probably heard of things like delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma. These are different brainwave frequencies. And it's like, a radio frequency, and you have to kind of tap into the right frequency. And for networks to communicate, they have to be on the same frequencies. And if they're not, if one's too fast and one's too slow, they can't really communicate, and things get all jumbled up, and the signals get jumbled up, and then the one frequency is too loud or too big, and the other frequency is too low. And so there's different ways of changing that, like different colors or different frequencies. So like blue and violet and green are frequencies that activate the right brain.
You don't need that.
Red.
Blue and green are my favorite colors.
Well, stay away from no. You can still wear them. Just not put them. Don't have them reflecting on your eyes.
And that's the thing. What's usually your favorite is also what can also really mess you up.
Yeah.
That's why I wear like red tinted lenses or orange tinted or yellow tinted lenses. With like if you were like feeling anxiety, if you put those on, it would kind of like calm you down a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah, and then so there's also electrical devices that help to do that. That there's what's called transcranial units, and
Obviously.
It creates light electrical current. It's not electroshock therapy or anything like that.
Right.
But what it's doing is it's literally just changing your brainwave frequencies, where it's inhibiting one side and activating the other, just to kind of nudge that balance a little bit more in that direction. And if you use it in combination with different things, but here's the challenge for adults and other people that have left brain deficits. The left brain also generates motivation. It sets goals. It gets you to do things that you might not want to do, but for some reason I have to do it, or I've set a goal for it.
For sure.
And you can get yourself motivated. A lot of things that right brain dominant people do, and it sounds like when you were a kid, is really struggle with getting yourself to do things that you really don't like, or things that you don't really think have a point, or that you feel like you might not be that good at. And so it's really hard to do that and stay structured and do it and stay organized. And so as an adult on your own, doing, what you need to do consistently may be hard, like sticking with an exercise program or sticking at it. So it's essentially like a program that you can do for yourself, and it can be tailored. It's just a matter of being consistent with it. But a lot of people, if they don't, that's why they'll come to our office, where we'll provide that motivation. All you need to do is show up, and we'll do that. And then we change your brain, and then your brain gets more motivated, and then you can start doing it on your own. So some people are going to need that help.
Right.
We need, you and I need to have like a left brain person that's like, hey, you're going to sit down and you're going to wear these little things on your head. Okay?
You need a left brain trainer.
I don't know what Morgan is, but she seems pretty darn balanced to me.
Yeah.
Put us in place.
Yeah. It's like I say with people, you should hire, what you need. So the woman that's been with me for 30 years, who I love, Janet, she's amazing. She's essentially my left brain. She's been my left brain for 30 years.
My dad thinks he's super right brain. My mom doesn't think so, but he wants to be one of us.
Right.
I want to be, yes.
I found it interesting that you said like the right brain is associated with like guilt and shame, and the left brain is like joy and like
pride
and stuff.
Yep.
What is like, So there's like emotions attached to each
side of the brain.
side.
Yep. Yeah, and
That's interesting.
it makes
'cause
sense
there's a lot
because
of guilt and shame that happens.
exactly,
Oh, yeah.
like when you
And
were
just
saying,
a general sense of like
Imposter syndrome.
yeah, or just like a feeling of not well-being sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
well, when you
It's
talk
not
about
like a-
self-loathing, that's like the ultimate
Yeah.
version of that shame. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not that I wouldn't say like I'm necessarily depressed or whatever, but it's just like a feeling of contentment sometimes is what I wish I had more of.
Yeah.
And it's not that, and I try and ration with myself. I'm like, what are you freaking out about? Everything's great. You get to do what you love for a living. Obviously, there's like normal daily struggles, and you know, I try and remind myself like, be thankful for what you have. You know, thankful for the relationships and that you have with people. Like you're healthy, you're not in danger. Like I try and remind myself daily through just talking to myself or like through prayer. And like sometimes I wish I didn't feel that way, or I'm like, why do I feel like there's something wrong?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like this underlying like panic. Like I feel like I'm always like, even when I'm like feeling happy, I'm like, there's this thing like that's about to happen where I like ruin somebody's life, or where like I
Yes.
owe $1 billion, or where like
Yes.
everyone just found out I'm a liar for I don't know what. I didn't lie to anyone, but they're gonna find out probably in an hour.
Yeah.
So like, and so I'll just be like,
And
this
no
is
one's
nice,
gonna text you back.
yeah. But it's like this over, and that's why we talk about it sometimes, because like I feel like there are people that might not necessarily be like as talented as you, but they have that more left brain skills, which also comes with pride. So they're not afraid to put themselves out there. So they're like, I'm sick. Also, I can do organizational skills. Also, I'm just going to reach out to all these people and like let them know they should play my music or they should hire me for this. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know that you're even that great at that. Not to be judgmental, but it's just, you know, we all know those people that it's like, how the hell do you hustle your way to that? But it's like they have those skills. And then it's like, I feel like the people that are actually the most talented have like so much, you know, shame and guilt and imposter syndrome that you're like, why would I deserve this? Even though you're probably the one that deserves it the most, you know? I don't know. It's like a weird juxtaposition there.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, and I feel like that's something that I am constantly trying to exercise every day, and just be like, you know, you're worthy. Like, send the email or reach out to this person or
Sending
or,
emails.
yeah, or whatever it is,
Yeah,
or like
I can't do it.
I've definitely gotten to a point where I am honest, where I'll just be like, you know, I appreciate that, but like, I've gotten better at saying no, which before I did have a lot of guilt, kind of just wrapped around me feeling like I should speak my mind, or I'm always worried about like, how's this going to affect
People pleasing.
someone else. But I'm also like critically honest, like where I can't, like I have this thing in me where it's like I have to, if there's something where it's like I'm not being honest, or it's like it'll eat me alive, or if somebody that I'm close to or whatever is, I have to voice it. So it's kind of this like, I'm scared to voice it because I don't want to hurt someone's feelings, or I feel guilty for feeling this way, but then at the same time I'm like, I gotta get it out.
That's one of the things I used to love about her when she was a little girl, because two boys, they would lie in a second without like did you do this? No. Right. Look at her. She could not tell a lie.
Yes.
She couldn't. It wasn't possible. I was
I'd
like,
just be like,
do I have to ask your sister? And they'd be like, no, okay. You know, because they knew that she couldn't lie. She turned red. She didn't want to rat out her brothers, but by the same token, she could not lie at all. So it's, again, this right brain thing. But as you said, you're also so sensitive to hurting somebody else's feelings and emotions. So you have to be honest, but you also don't want to be mean in any way or hurt their feelings.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the reason why she wanted to do this, was because you take somebody like yourself who's, incredibly talented. I mean, literally, she feels like you're one of the best guitarists not just female guitarists, but that she's ever seen or maybe in the world. You're in Nashville. You're doing great. Everybody else on the outside looks at you and is envious and feels you have a great life, picture perfect life. And you do. You have a great life. But what's going on in your head, so many other people are struggling with that, and they don't have those things in their life, or
Right.
they wanted to, they may have had the talent, but they didn't have the support, or
For sure.
they couldn't overcome the fear of being judged or the stage fright or whatever.
Yeah.
And they feel even worse because, and hearing from somebody like you that's willing to share that, it's so healing for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
for like
know,
everyone that
it's-
looks up to you and stuff.
Yeah, so it's just such
Myself
a
included.
to
I
be
look up to you very
vulnerable
much.
like that is really hard to do, and that's a lot of the theme of the show. But this is what she wanted. She was like, "There's so many out there, people that I know, my friends that are so talented that struggle with these issues, and if we can, talk about it, add some reality to it, a little bit of science, and then even give some insight of things that you can do, but how much you can help other people."
Yeah.
And especially in this community.
Yeah, for sure.
We normally, and there's is not like pressure to put on, but obviously like because you're being so open about all of these things, like if you had advice to somebody who is maybe like, like if you think back to like your younger self, like I'm sure you're very proud of where you've come, like where you've gotten to, even though you struggled with those things. Like if you were to give advice to somebody listening, what would you say?
Yeah, I think like kind of like what you just said, like I feel like speaking about it is super powerful. Like I don't want to ever put on a facade of like everything's great and I'm always happy and everything's, I think it's cool, especially like as an artist. I want to connect with people in that way, to be like, hey, I know I'm up here and you see pictures of me on stage and everything looks cool and great, but I'm also like a real person, which is what I always want to like relay to people. I always want to like stay real,
Right.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
like something like this, I was super excited to just talk about, because like I think it helps people, and I think it just makes you appear more human, because we all are at the end of the day. And I think if I was to give advice, I think it would just be just voice it and know like you're not alone. There's so many people out there that have the same thing. Like sometimes I think I'm having this super unique experience, and then I talk to you and you're like, dude, literally same. Like I haven't found my keys for 3 days. Like whatever it
I
is.
spent 5 hours looking for my keys the other day.
Yeah.
Ruined my whole day.
Yeah, and it's just like having someone to talk to and not holding it in. I think that's what's really helped me. And it's like, if I'm gonna do this as a career, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm something that I'm not, or pretending that I have all my shit together. Even though I'm trying to do my best.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I've improved on some of these things, and I still continue to improve on them, but I don't want to like ever appear like I don't have a struggle. And I think it's okay to be vulnerable about that, to speak about it. I think it gives you strength. Like vulnerability, I think, is strength at the end of the day.
Sure.
I think it's the ultimate strength, especially, I mean, obviously you're pretty badass in what you do, and
Every time
we
you
didn't
say,
even,
I'm just
we
like,
didn't even
like,
talk
shut
about
up.
we didn't talk about playing as a female guitarist. I'm sure there's struggles, struggling as being a minority, I would imagine, as far as in a male dominated area, and yet you've obviously you've been pretty fearless when it comes to that to a certain extent, even though you may have had fears inside, which makes you even stronger, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Very brave. So it's really,
It was kind of a thing where like playing guitar, it wasn't like I like was setting out to necessarily be a guitar player. It's just like a part of, like, to me, like the guitar and the voice and like my artistry, like it's all like one
right.
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like people would be like, oh, you're a guitar player and you play guitar for whatever. And it, like, as much as I've had like an honor to play for someone like Lainey Wilson, it's which that's like a whole nother muscle to exercise, like playing for someone else.
Right.
Well, you're just such an amazing frontman also, like, and you write
Thanks.
your own song. So yeah, that's like a weird thing.
And it's amazing and it's super cool, but I feel like the point I'm trying to say is I didn't like ever look at be like, oh, like I'm a good guitar player. Like I moved to town and then people were like, you're a good guitar player.
Right.
And I'm like, really? And then I just kept like learning from amazing people in town. And that's kind of just been like what's like come to be the reputation is like, oh, you're a great guitar player. Which is amazing. Like I love that. But for me, it's almost like a hand in hand thing with like my voice and like my artistry and stuff. Like there's,
It's like Prince was one of the best guitar players ever, right? So obviously some of the greatest overall artists have also been incredibly great guitarists. But that's to be able to combine all that together. It's not easy. It's an amazing feat.
I'll take you to an Emma Zinck show very soon.
I can't wait to.
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
wait to go.
Are you playing anytime soon?
I'm trying to think in town. Place, what's tomorrow? Today. I played today.
Oh,
But it's it's at 6 in Peabody
oh,
at Old Smoky. We're just doing it
I love that
thing with my band out there, and it'll be chill and cool.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
if you want to
news.
come later,
What time
you're
is
more than
that?
welcome.
Yeah, what time?
6 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. All right.
yeah.
Well, you guys should follow Emma Zinck at Emma Zinck, and then you can find her shows all the time. And this was the most magical thing ever. Thank you for coming on here. I love you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much. It was great.
Thank you guys. Seriously.
Great.
All right. Until next time, guys.